Salams and welcome. Thank you for joining me in another episode of the Quran in English Basics for Beginners. A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajeem. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Has the story reached? Let's start again. Has the story of Moses reached you? Behold, your Lord did call to him in the sacred valley of Tua. Go you to Pharaoh, for he has indeed transgressed all bounds. Now, before God most merciful, before Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala destroys a nation or a people, He first sends one of His outstanding messengers and prophets. In this case, He sent Moses, but not only Moses, Moses asked for help, so his brother Aaron came with him, Musa and Harun. So, the chance is given to to Pharaoh to think about what he is doing and to listen to these messengers. They came with the same fundamental principles that all the divine messengers came from. First and foremost, the three concepts that go throughout the Quran are Tawheed, Risala, and Akhirah. Tawheed is La ilaha illallah, there is only one God. Risala means God in His mercy and His compassion and His concern for a nation will send a prophet or a messenger to them to remind them of the truth. And the third concept, Akhirah, to remind them of the guarantee of the day of judgment and the next life to come. Through the process of resurrection, the revival, or those who are dead will be brought back to life again. Because Pharaoh was like some of today's modern nations, very, very wealthy. Wealth gave him power, and power made him forget God until he developed a God complex. He had megalomania. He was a dictator of the worst type of modern dictators that you can think of. He would kill people whenever he wanted to. He would torture people. There would be rows and rows of people who had stakes put through their entire body, through the two openings, the opening at the back and the opening in the mouth, and they would suffer severe, severe tortures. And he did type of crime you can unthinkable, and he did not think of the consequences because he felt he's not accountable to anybody. People can be killed, they can be raped, they can be tortured. It does not bother him because they are nothing. He did not put a value on human life. So he transgressed all bounds. So he was now being given an opportunity. Think carefully about what you are doing. Because you can think, you can have a God complex, you can have megalomania, you can have delusions of grandeur, you can have delusions that you are a God of the people. But all of that are meaningless in front of the true one God, the supreme creator of the heavens and the earth. And the true one God is sending you a messenger to remind you and to make you aware of the evil that you are doing. And if you do not listen to them, Aaron and Moses, then basically you have sealed your own fate. Not only will you suffer a horrible death, but you will suffer punishment in the grave, you will suffer punishment on the day of judgment, and you will suffer punishment forevermore in hell. Because you are basically a rebel and you are an arrogant person, and those are the qualities of the devil. Basically, you are the devil incarnate. And if you do not listen to the guidance that God most mercifully is sending to you as a final warning, you will be drowned like the people of Noah were drowned. This is your final chance to think carefully about what you are doing. So Moses was sent by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Go you to Pharaoh, for he has indeed transgressed all bounds, and say to him, would you that you should be purified from sin? Now listen to this very carefully. If Pharaoh had embraced La ilaha illallah, if he would have become a Muslim, had remorse about what he had done, all his sins would have been forgiven. Can you imagine that? So he has been given an opportunity. Do you want to be purified? You've got so much sins on your shoulders. You have basically booked a ticket for yourself in hell for eternity. And that I guide you to your Lord. So you should fear him. Let me read it again. And that I guide you to your Lord, so you should fear him. Then did Moses show him the great sign. Remember when Musa alayhi salam, okay, we're just waiting for that motorbike to go past, right? When Musa alayhi salam and his family were traveling through the desert at night, and in the distance he saw a beautiful bright light far away in the desert. And he told his family to wait when he goes to investigate what that light is all about. Because at night in the desert it's very cold. So he told his family, let me go ask those people if we are on the right road. But maybe they are bandits, maybe they are highway robbers, so I don't want you all to be attacked. You all wait here for me. In the least, if they can't help me out on the direction we are supposed to go, at the least I'll get a piece of wood with fire on it and I'll bring it back to us, and then we can build our own fire and warm ourselves in this cold night that we have. And as Musa alayhi salam went to that light, little did he know that his life will be changed forever. In summary, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave him two very, very powerful signs. First, his stick, a wooden stick that is dead, became alive like an Egyptian cobra. And he got a shock of his life. And it is only Allah who has the power to do this, to bring anything back to life. Scientists can't do that. And atheists and scientists don't understand this, that God in his infinite creative ability can bring anything to life, right? So a dead wooden stick, as his stuff, became a living Egyptian cobra. The second sign was that he put his hand on his side and it came out shining white like an LED torch. Now can you imagine, in the total darkness of the desert night, if your hand is shining like a torch? In those days there was no electricity, so it was very obvious for all of the viewers, because later when Musa alayhi salam had a competition in front of all of the Egyptians and Pharaoh and his chiefs on the day of festival, and he showed them these two signs, and the ones who were sincere, they believed in it. He showed them how a piece of stick became into a living Egyptian cobra, which swallowed up all the falsehood which the other magicians were doing. And secondly, he showed them his bright hand, which was shining like a halogen lamp. So it was absolutely amazing, and they saw it with their own eyes. Then did Moses show him the great sign. But Pharaoh rejected it and disobeyed guidance. Further, he turned his back, striving hard against Allah. Then he collected his people and made a proclamation, saying, I am your Lord Most High. So this is the arrogance of Pharaoh. Pharaoh is a person who wants to retain power over his people. So instead of embracing the truth which Musa alayhi salam brought, he surrounded himself again with the chiefs and those lackeys of his, and he declared himself to be the Creator Supreme. He said, no, he is God. But Allah did punish him and made an example of him in the hereafter as well as in this life. Allah did punish him and made an example of him in the hereafter as in this life. Verily, in this is an instructive warning for whosoever fears Allah. Stay well, look after yourself. Alhamdulillah.